So I'm walking down the street when a man stops me and says, "Hey yo sister, are you from the motherland?" Because my skin is a shade too dark not to have come from foreign soil. Because this garment on my head screams Africa. Because my body is a beacon calling everyone to come flock to the motherland. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Sudan, why? He said, yes you is, because you got a little bit of flavor in you. Don't get me wrong, I'm just admiring what your mama gave. Let me tell you something about my mama. I think because I could never have the concept of home tied to a place. It's always been tied to people. So for me, it's a lot about humanity and finding the people that you feel most safe around. She could reduce a man to tattered flesh without so much as blinking. Her words fester beneath your skin, and the whole time you won't be able to stop cradling her eyes. Because my mama is a woman, flawless and formidable in the same step. Woman walks into a war zone and has warriors cowering at her feet. My mama holds all of us, in her face, in her body, in her blood, and blood is no good once you let it loose, so she always holds us close, keeping us safe from caving in. When I was 7, my mama cradled bullets in the billows of her robes. That same night she came home and taught me how to get gunpowder out of cotton with a bar of soap. Years later, when the sons of soldiers held her at gunpoint and asked her who she was, she said, "I am a daughter of Adam. I am a woman. Who the hell are you?" It felt like writing something about my mother and my grandmother indirectly, and my godmom, Loretta, and just every single matriarch in my family and in my life. It's a reflection of everyone and every symbol of strength that I knew. And that was the thing that I felt like I needed the most. And the last time we went home, we watched our village burn. Soldiers pouring blood from civilian skulls as if they too could turn water into wine. The woman who raised me turned and said, "Don't be scared. I'm your mother. I'm here. I won't let them through." My mama gave me conviction. Women like her inherit bruised wrists, tired eyes, and a titanium-plated spine. The daughters of widows wearing the wings of amputees, they carry countries between their shoulder blades. Now, I'm not saying that dating is a first world problem, but these trifling guys seem to be the kind who'll quote Rumi, but not know what he sacrificed for war, who'll fawn over Lupita, but turn their racial filters on, who take their politics with a latte when I take mine with tear gas. Every guy I meet wants me my introduction to the dark side, wants me to open up this obsidian skin and let him read every tearful page, because what survivor hasn't had her struggle made spectacle? With spoken word, the person is infused into every single part of that art form. Their emotions, their experience, their voice. And so you can't help but see them when you're hearing them. Don't talk about the motherland unless you know that being from Africa means waking up an afterthought in this country. Don't talk about my flavor unless you know that my flavor is insurrection, it is rebellion, it is resistance. My flavor is burden, it is grit, and it is compromise. And you don't know compromise until you've rebuilt your home for the 3rd time without bricks, without mortar, without any other option. I turned to the man and said, "My mother and I don't walk the streets alone back home anymore. Back home, there are no streets to walk anymore." Our world is completely changing in every single kind of way, and that young people are the people who are changing the world. I see people caring more about gun violence in the States, people caring more about voting, and people caring more about women's rights. Imagine if we're all advocating for that, and we advocate for women's rights, but we don't advocate for refugee women's rights. We advocate for girls' education, but we don't advocate for refugee girls' education. It's all linked together, and we're all this one very young world that's kind of, dealing with a world that's a little bit asleep at the wheel. But you guys are awake. I mean, they call you the woke generation, right? And so the question is, is it okay? Is it okay for us to live like this? And is it okay for us to keep living like this? Is it okay for you not to be aware of half the world that you're going to be growing up with? A lot of refugees die, but a lot of them live too. And life is way too long for us to be ignoring half the world.